Please don't start
What about the kidney things that, you imagine a refresh liver, kidney when you go drinking?
Who said
blah,
that?
blah, blah.
Where is the evidence for it? Because I believe in God. For everybody else, they need to provide evidence. Yes. Where is the evidence for taking multivitamins? Because my patients come and tell me I'm taking vitamin C every day to prevent COVID. I'm taking zinc and magnesium. Yes, your body will only absorb what you need. The rest is you're making very costly urine, expensive urine, which has got magnesium, which has got zinc. Why? Your body will only absorb and use what you need. It will not, if you take 40 milligrams of zinc every day, who said that it's going to be, all of it is going to be absorbed every day? You're going to pee out everything.
And that's overworking your kidney.
No, I mean, you're just making expensive urine. That's what you're doing.
You're not even overworking your kidney, it's just expensive urine.
Expensive urine, for what?
There's a question here from Leslie Kahu. First, she says, I presume, that I think a lot, so I think I burn calories by thinking a lot.
Not really.
But the question is there a cap or a limit where someone cannot, where the option of, I'm trying to paraphrase her, the option of a transplant is out for a kidney patient?
Yes, so there are some patients in whom we cannot transplant. Okay, so what we have to look for is your longevity after a transplant. So for example, if you have active cancer and it's not curable, then basically we can't transplant you. It's one of those few instances where we can't transplant you, because if it's an incurable cancer, then it's not fair for me to remove a kidney from a healthy person, subject them to unnecessary surgery like nephrectomy, and then put it in a in a patient with kidney failure, and the patient might have 2 or 3 years. So it's not fair. So we look at one of the most important aspects is then there the relative contraindication, like if you have an active infection. Okay, we have to treat the active infection before we can consider transplant. If we find that somebody is not compliant to medications, you see, like for example, as I told you, after the kidney transplant, you are supposed to be on medications for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is key. It is very important. Okay, at the MP Shah Hospital, there's a lot of counseling that we do for every patient before a transplant, and we have to be assured that the patients are going to be compliant to the medications. If you stop your medications, the body rejects the kidney. You have lost the kidney. Yeah? And it's not fair for me to remove a kidney from a healthy donor and give it to you, and then you're going to be non-compliant. Because what is going to happen is I'll have done a disservice, one, to you, because you will lose the kidney. In the process of that, we'll do a lot of tests for you and give you heavy immunosuppressive medications that can be life-threatening as well, and it's very costly. And then for the other person who has donated the kidney, he will also feel that, I mean, somebody has done a disservice. So compliance is very important. There is no age limit to a kidney transplant. The oldest gentleman I've done is 73 years. So currently he should be 75 and is living a very healthy life. So as I told you, it all depends on your assessment of a patient and whether, I mean, if the person is healthy, I mean, I can even do a transplant in an 80-year-old. As long as they're healthy, they're walking, they can take care of themselves, they've got a good family support system, there's no reason as to why we cannot do a transplant.
I like that. I like that support system, because now I want to enter the uncharted waters, so to speak, in terms of the patient after the kidney transplant, psychological challenges, what to expect, how to support them, and also the families that have to deal with this. You pointed out, go with the caregiver and the donor. Like I can just mention the former coach of Harambee Stars, Jacob Gosmule, had to fly out to India with his brother, donate the kidney, rest his brother's soul in peace, came, stayed a while, but then passed on. There's a lot of psychological weight and challenges for not just the patient but also the caregivers and families. How would you advise them to maneuver? What would you say are some of the things to expect for both sections?
So you see, this is why even at the MP Shah Hospital, when I joined, I mean, the reason why I joined was basically to set up a transplant unit for them, and I'm happy to say it's been one of the most successful in the country. So I formed a transplant committee, which is what is recommended internationally. And the transplant committee consists of your nephrologists, your surgeons, your anesthetists, your pharmacy, laboratory, and very important is your donor advocate and a counselor. So the counselor becomes very important because the counselor now counsels both the recipient and the donor as well. Okay? And at every visit for the pre-transplant workup, the patients basically come to see us, both with the donor and the recipient, and we counsel them about what to expect. Okay? People assume that once when you're done for a transplant, that's it.
Good to
Everything
go.
is good to
Yeah.
go. You don't need to see a doctor. No, that is not true. Immediately after a transplant, and this is very important because it's all documented and patients have to sign that they have read it and they're given all the brochures and everything. Immediately after the transplant, the patients see me every 2 weeks for 1 month. After that, every week for the other 2 months. So in 3 months, they've seen me for a number of times. They do regular tests as well to make sure that the kidney is functioning. We are giving them immunosuppressive medications, so we need to monitor the levels of the immunosuppressive medications. If everything goes well, then they see me monthly for every year, for the first 1 year. After that, once every 2 months for the second year. Then after that, once every 3 months. For the donor as well, it's very important because a lot of people tend to neglect the donor. Oh, he has done his job and everything is
You actually just
nice
got
and
the
dandy.
question from my head. I wanted to ask about the donor because
Yes.
they're talking about the receipt. No. The donor.
Yes, the donor, the one who donates the kidney.
Yes.
Yes. So, of course, the risk is very, very minimal to the donor, but there's always a risk, especially now, for example, if I'm the donor and then I don't see my doctor for 10 years. I don't know what's happening in my body. Okay? I mean, you can develop diabetes, you can develop high blood pressure later on in life. Okay? You can start taking over-the-counter medications like painkillers. You may get an infection. You may go to another facility and they start giving you medications that are not good for you because you have one kidney. They can be nephrotoxic. Which is why it's very important for the donor as well, and I insist for all my donors that they have to see me at least once every 6 months. Or even if they are, because I see a lot of patients from all across the counties in Kenya, I just request them, and I'm available 24/7 on my phone. My phone never goes off, even when I'm traveling. Just send me your results. Once every 6 months, tell me how you're doing, go check your blood pressure, check your kidney function, and send it to me. And I'll tell you if it's okay or not.